Thank you for joining me here tonight. The time is now 9 p.m. Central, and right now we've got some storms that are trying to produce some damaging winds in portions of Arkansas, Missouri, and Illinois, and tonight we're going to be covering them live. We also have a couple of thunderstorms back into parts of Virginia, West Virginia, and Kentucky here that are becoming strong. Specifically, one near Princeton, West Virginia is going to be capable of producing 30-mile-an-hour winds and pea-sized hail. Now, in this stream, we're also going to touch on the potential for major Hurricane Helene later this week. However, we already did a stream for that earlier today, so I think for the most part we're going to stick to the severe weather coverage here. So, a marginal risk of severe weather going out for portions of South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, and Arkansas here. Now, the reason that we're going live for this, because this may seem like a random, insignificant thing to go live for, is the Storm Prediction Center has highlighted an area where over the next couple of hours we can't rule out an isolated brief tornado across portions of Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee, with the main cities at risk being areas like Evansville, Indiana, Clarksville, Tennessee, Owensboro, Kentucky, Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Now, we're also going to be looking out for damaging winds and large hail, but really the only reason we're doing this stream right now is because some of these cells are starting to become a little bit more discreet, and while it is nighttime and the tornado threat's relatively low in general, again, we cannot rule out a brief spin-up, so we're going to be watching a lot of these storms as they progress. We've also got some storms heading back up for my neck of the woods here at the Davis Does Weather studio, so we're going to briefly check in on those every few minutes here. Again, right now they're producing some lightning and heavy rain as they push my way, so we'll see what happens with those, but again, the main concern I think will be these storms in southeastern Missouri as damaging winds and isolated tornadoes do look to be a potential threat. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up Stream Chat. If anybody has any questions about their location, feel free to leave those down below. I'll try to answer them accurately and honestly, and again, if you have any questions about potential major Hurricane Helene, we'll feel free to ask those as well. We will be briefly touching on the National Hurricane Center's new update that should come out any minute, and the tropical storm watches that are in place for the Florida Keys. So let me go ahead and pull up Stream Chat here. Give me just a second. Okay. Good to see the usual crowd back here once again. What's up, random Texan guy? You're getting rain tomorrow? That is honestly good. I know that it is a serious drought out there right now, an exceptional drought. Even though it's technically not while you're out on the drought scale. If you were to go outside, you would probably be allowed to describe it as an exceptional drought. However, it's actually worse back in the Midwest. We've had enough tropical moisture out here this year to prevent a lot of the drought conditions that we saw like last year in this area. But again, I think that the more concerning drought will be back up into the Midwest that we currently have ongoing. But luckily, the storms today will help remedy that a little bit. And then tomorrow, we're going to have more storms that will help remedy that as well. In fact, we have a slight risk of severe weather going out for portions of eastern Kentucky, extreme western West Virginia, and extreme western Virginia. We do have a tornado threat tomorrow back into portions of northeast Indiana, central Ohio, northern West Virginia, and southwest Pennsylvania. But I think it's going to be kind of like today where the threat overall is generally pretty low. It's just going to be brief, isolated spin-up tornadoes that we have to look out for. So, again, right now, southeastern Missouri would be the hot spot. This is one of our areas highlighted in the the Storm Prediction Center's 2% tornado risk area. So, we'll look out for that. We do have tons of live cams out here if we need to look at any of these storms as they happen. What's up, Brett? What's up, Sam? So this is a live look at Advanced Missouri. We've got torrential rain coming down right now, and again, that's due to one of these little pop-up thunderstorms that we've got here. Let's see. So, can't decide if you want to leave Iowa and go chase the hurricane. Honestly, if you are dedicating to storm chasing, I would do it. I think that major Hurricane Helene is definitely going to come out of potential Tropical Cyclone 9. I would definitely do it if you are really, really invested in storm chasing and you have the opportunity to. What's going on in Louisville? Let's see here. So, Louisville right now is fine. You do have a marginal risk of severe weather. Maybe some storms later tomorrow, especially, though, I think, is where the storms are going to be more prevalent, as you are going to be in the marginal risk of severe weather just outside the slight. Can I look up a place for you? Yeah, sure. Just send it in. It's up Tampa Air. That's a yikes, Sam. As soon as you started streaming, that's unfortunate. What happened? Did it just get, really old, or did you actually break it? By the way, everybody, we're rocking the Davis Does Weather shirt tonight. This is a real shirt. I'm not selling it or anything, but it is a shirt that I have. Thought it's kind of funny. Parrish, Florida. Let's check that area out. So I imagine that's one of the areas in the cone if you're mentioning it here. It's not. Okay, so you may have like family out here or something. So Parrish, Florida actually is going to be one of those areas that does experience some damaging winds likely later this week, likely into maybe like Thursday evening time. Definitely some damaging winds up to, I'd say, about 60 miles an hour would be possible, maybe 75 at the most in terms of gusts. Again, I do imagine you'll be under tropical storm warnings, and I would look out for a couple of tornadoes to be possible in that area too. And also, I imagine storm surge could be pretty significant, so we'll watch out for that. Davis does weather merge. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. Again, that sucks, but it happens to all of us at some point. So again, this is a live look at Advanced, Missouri. Getting a very intense storm right now with torrential rainfall. What's up, Peach? You got family down there? They're saying high winds will be felt for Florida even if they aren't in the cone. Yes. Pretty much the entire state of Florida is going to be able to experience some high winds from this, whether those gusts are, 50 miles an hour at the highest, or if they're 150 miles an hour at the highest, which, yes, could be a problem for some folks. We could genuinely be talking about gusts up to 150 miles an hour at landfall. It's kind of crazy to think, but it's definitely a possibility. Yeah, so we can't say directly that Tallahassee's 100% going to get hit head on, but it is a possibility. And again, if that were to happen, that would kind of be a worst case scenario, because obviously a very, very populated area there. Again, the further west it makes landfall actually the worst case scenario, because that's the slightly longer amount of time it has to strengthen. Tampa gets hit. The Bay is probably going to have surge. Yeah, we're going to have some intense surge. In fact, we're expecting surge in the Florida Keys as well, actually. Yeah, I saw Max's live. I did tune in at the beginning of the stream. I actually saw some of you guys there. I know I saw Gooseman and Peach. I saw a couple of other folks there as well from the Davis Does Weather multiverse. So, anyway. Will Indiana get hit with the hurricanes? That's actually a really good question. I think the only thing that you would have to look out for is the southwest corridor of Indiana, and maybe just southern Indiana in general for gusty winds and an isolated tornado threat, as well as heavy rain, but it shouldn't be anything too intense. By the time it gets to Indiana, it'll only be a tropical depression, so nothing too crazy in terms of the threat for Indiana there. Again, I would be more worried about severe weather over the next few days in Indiana, actually. We got a marginal risk of severe weather in southwest Indiana today. We got a marginal risk of severe weather in southeast Indiana tomorrow. And then even going into Wednesday, we've got, I guess it's just a general thunderstorm risk. I thought it went further into the state, but we do have a risk of showers and thunderstorms in southern Indiana on Wednesday. What's up, CX? See, I think that the National Hurricane Center's outlook right now is actually really good, though. I think they've got it pretty much spot on where this is going to make landfall. And this wouldn't be a too terrible scenario because the reason I say that is because a lot of our bigger cities are going to be just outside of this direct landfall. And obviously, you would still see very damaging and catastrophic impacts from this if this were to make landfall here. But it wouldn't be quite as bad as it could be if they got, like, directly hit by the eye wall with, 30 inches of rain or something ridiculous. So, anyway, again, some of our storms in southeastern Missouri are having an uptick in their lightning production. Sometimes that's a sign of intensification. So we may have to look out over the next couple of hours for some damaging winds with some of these storms. And again, an isolated tornado threat. But right now, I'm not seeing anything too concerning. There was a supercell in northern Arkansas earlier. It's right here. We don't have a very good look at it because there's a lack of radar coverage in this area, which is quite unfortunate. But I think there might be a tornado risk. Again, we're just mentioning that. I think tonight there's a very, very slight, brief spin-up tornado risk. Again, I think the greatest... Oh, with Depression 9, definitely, yes. I think that Depression 9 will bring several tornadoes, several tropical tornadoes to parts of the southeast and back and maybe into the Ohio Valley. You hit the red button and like, nice. Yeah, if you're new here, please be sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,500 by Halloween, and I think it's definitely a possibility and a likelihood, but only with your guys' support can we reach that. Yeah, so we're expecting a Category 3 landfall now from Hurricane John in the Eastern Pacific. It's already a Category 2 hurricane. I could see it strengthening even further up until landfall. I'm not exactly too sure on the situation here, but I imagine evacuation orders are in effect, so... Max saw it? Did he really? We about to get raided by max velocity? Alright, well, if we are, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's new here joining. I'm Davis Does Weather. Today, we're just having a chill stream covering tornadoes and damaging winds in parts of southeast Missouri. Again, isolated tornadoes, not like big wedges or anything. It's definitely not a possibility for tonight, but I do this all the time. I make similar content to Max Velocity, so again, if you like that kind of stuff, make sure to subscribe. That's pretty cool, though. I'm gonna have to go back to the part in the stream later on. If somebody can give me the timestamp, like where he mentioned it, I'll go back and watch it later on. I guess you can't really do that right now, though, while the stream's in progress. His stream being in progress, that is. So... So again, I honestly think that there are some broad rotations here in some of our storms near Perryville, Missouri. Again, I don't think it's going to be any super high tornado threat right now, but I think that later on we could be watching out for a brief isolated tornado as these cross the Mississippi River into southern Illinois. Again, areas like Carbondale, Harrisburg, you need to look out over the next several hours. Okay, we're seeing a very, very big jump in viewership here, so I'm just going to guess that Max Velocity sent you guys here. If you guys are new here, again, please be sure to like and subscribe. I do similar content to Max Velocity all the time. He's obviously a huge, huge role model of mine. He's an awesome guy. He's been in a few of my streams before, and I appreciate him so much for doing that. But, again, I just, dude, this is awesome. Thank you guys so much. Again, I don't feel like I deserve this, but here we are. Your cousin lives in Carbondale? Yeah, Carbondale, I don't think I have any family there, but I've been down in that neck of the woods several times. So. Anyway. Get a couple of rotations near Perryville to watch. You're gonna text Reed? You can just text Reed Timmer? That's kind of wild. I'm assuming you're joking. So, again, a couple of bands of storms right now in southeastern Missouri, again, capable of producing damaging winds, large hail, and an isolated tornado over the next couple of hours here as they enter the Illinois, Kentucky, Missouri tri-state region here. So we'll see what happens. Did he actually say he was going to raid me, though, or did he just say, is Davis Does Weather live? Again, just look at the lightning production with these storms here as they enter Illinois. That is a very, very strong signal of intensification here. And again, it looks as if the precipitation is getting more intense too, with some large hail mixing in with our storm. Again, this honestly could get a severe thunderstorm warning here very soon. Yeah, it's a pretty gnarly looking thunderstorm. The low being the low 60s. We've had some days already that are in the 40s in my neck of the woods, which is kind of wild. considering it's only late September. Normally we have to wait until at least October to see stuff like that. But, okay, so the special weather statement. Alright, see you, Dakota. The special weather statement in West Virginia has been allowed to expire. No, not for me. Not for me. In my area, it's a little bit warmer than the average Midwest weather just because I'm kind of in the southern corridor of the Midwest. I'm on the I-70 corridor, so. We'll keep watching these storms here. And I really think that these could go severe very shortly. I think the National Weather Service in Paducah is going to have a pretty long night, to say the least. Because pretty much all of these storms are going to be in the NWS Paducah zone for the next couple hours. Why am I having trouble saying that? Yeah, I know you get like a state of emergency whenever it gets that low in terms of temperatures in Houston. But here, that's not anything too wild for the fall. So again, I'm watching this Supercell back here, just now crossing the Arkansas-Missouri state line. I think once we start to see the structure of that cell a little bit better as we get it into a better radar zone, we're going to be able to see how intense it really is, rather than this pixelated view that we have of it right now. What's up, Sam? Guess what? What? You said, guess what, and then you didn't say anything. Alright, anyway, again, a couple of little pockets of rotation, I think, trying to develop in this line of storms near Perryville. So, we'll see what happens there. Is my chat just frozen? You said, for me, it looks like you said, guess what, and then you didn't say anything. Let's see, let me refresh. That's fine. I don't care if he raids me or not. I'm still ecstatic after what happened yesterday. I really think this line of storms is going to get a special weather statement or a severe thunderstorm warning here, though, over the next several minutes. It's only intensifying, and again, it's got a decent environment to continue doing that. If we just take a look at the HRRR here and we switch over to the convective available potential energy, the surface-based CAPE, we can see that we've got a few thousand joules per kilogram of CAPE down here in parts of southern Illinois, which is kind of just enough to get severe storms and tornadoes to fire, if you're unaware. We've got ourselves some wind shear. Overall, this is a pretty decent environment. It's nothing insane. The significant tornado parameter values are there. They're chilling at about 0.5 to 1 across parts of southern Illinois, which is actually a decent signature or signal there. It's not super low. It's not quite as low as you might think it is. Some of our bigger tornado outbreaks, we see like 6 or 7 on the significant tornado parameter. So even saying a 1 is not a huge deal, but it does mean something. There's this little splotch here that's appearing in southeast Missouri that's showing like 1.5 to 2, and that it would be not a huge deal again, but a pretty big deal if that were to actually happen. Yeah, school's fun. I mean, it's school. It's not my thing. I don't think it's many people's thing. So, let's check up on some of these storms here that are entering my neck of the woods. Again, mainly just going to bring some heavy rain. They're not really necessarily storms at this point, but little pockets of heavy rain there. all clustered up. Again, originally this band of storms that was kind of riding I-70 there looked like it was going to bring hail and wind, but that dissipated very quickly because, honestly, we don't have a great environment up here. It's a little bit on the cooler side right now, I believe. Let's see, what temperature is it in my region? Yeah, it looks like it's about 68 right now, so... And ideally, that would be a little bit higher. But... Anyway. 19 likes, that's insane. If we get this stream to 25 likes, that'd be pretty awesome. We're going to be here for a little bit longer. If nothing happens, then we'll end off soon, but we'll be here for at least a little bit. Seeing what this line of storms tries to do. And again, if anything major happens, we'll come back later tonight. Oh yeah, I hate school. I didn't say that I liked it. I don't have to wake up at 6. I wake up at 7, so it's a little easier for me, but... You can just look at the lightning production with these storms here. Definitely a sign of some intensification going on. Again, soon we're going to be entering another radar hole. Unfortunately, south-central Illinois is a little bit of a radar hole. Can Mr. Storm join? I'm not too certain. I'll ask him. I message him. We'll see what happens. I don't want to annoy him because, obviously it's late on a school night, but... Bro, what is with the Mr. Storm bedtime meme? It's kind of it's funny whenever he has to go to bed on a weekend, because he goes to bed on weekdays the same times that he does on weekends. He's also ahead of time. He's further ahead of time than most of us are, because he's on the East Coast, but... And right now our big storm just crossed I-55 near Perryville, Missouri. So we're going to be heading for the I-57 corridor in southern Illinois. Again, there's just enough of an environment here to keep these storms going, kind of. Yeah, I know you are. But most of the people here aren't. Well, he has to go to bed. That's the funny part. Looks like we have some rotation developing near Rockwood, Illinois. We'll have to watch out for that. Yeah, we gained like 30 subs yesterday, which is kind of wild, honestly. I messaged, was it Corey Gherkin? I think it was Hunter Hurley. Yeah, I messaged Hunter Hurley on X. And he said that I would get to 2K by the end of 2024 subs. So, we'll see what happens. Again, I think 2K by my birthday's a little bit more of a realistic goal. I doubt we're going to get to 2K by the end of the year, but I can't completely rule it out if we get more raids like we've had the past few nights. I guess it was just last night, but you know what I mean. Again, if you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe. Not required, but obviously it helps out a ton. So, again, a lot of big hailstorms right now in southwest Illinois trying to produce isolated tornadoes. They're not really doing that well, though. So, again, just a couple of rotations. One near Interstate 55 and one near Rockwood, Illinois. Davis is gonna, bro. Max is gonna surpass Ryan, and Davis is gonna. If I surpass Evan Freiberger, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if Max is gonna pass Ryan Hall. I don't know about that. I think they're growing at like the same rate. Anyway, waiting for another radar scan here. It's been like 5 minutes. Check the St. Louis radar. Still a couple minutes old. Max is growing faster. I don't think he is. I mean, relative to their channel size, respectively, yes, Max is growing faster, but I'm talking about, like, in general. I think they're gaining around the same amount of subs. Max velocity. Let me check Social Blade here. That's not max velocity. Max velocity severe weather sensor. I forgot his name's like that. So he's had 9,000 subs in the past 30 days. I think Ryan Hall's had more than that. Yeah, Ryan Hall's had 10K, so between 10 and 20K, that is, because it only counts by 10,000s. Bro, what are you yapping about, CX? Anyway. Let's wait for this next velocity scan here. This is the thing we really care about, because this shows us if there's any sort of enhanced pocket of winds or rotation with our storms. Again, where the reds meet the greens, could be some rotation there. Kind of get brighter as well, the colors do. Maybe a sign of some potential rotation. So, what was the most liked stream? I actually checked today. It was the barrel stream. I don't know why I have to clear my throat so much all of a sudden. Hold on. There we go. I don't know what happened. I just started dying. The HRRR was showing this line of storms, by the way, developing. So they were pretty spot on with that. They also got the location relatively correct, except I believe they had it. Actually, that's kind of right where they had it, I think. I was going to be nitpicky, but I don't think I can. So, let's see. Again, it's going to start raining soon in my region. I don't know if it might be already. I'm really not too sure. We don't need any more rain. I've been saying we need more rain in our area, and we did, and now we don't. But now that we don't need rain, we're going to get a ton more later this week. I actually really want it to rain on Saturday. I'm supposed to have a band thing on Saturday in Southern Illinois, and I really don't want to go because I have to get up really early, and I want to stay up Friday night because I think it's going to be a big day for tornadoes with potential Helene. So I'm hoping that it rains really hard and it gets canceled. It's looking like that. It's looking like that could happen. The next update from the National Hurricane Center, it should have already came out. I don't know why it didn't. Should not. I guess it's at 11 Eastern, isn't it? Or is it? Yeah, I guess it would be. I'm probably not going to stay until then, just because there's nothing to talk about. Unless things intensify. This near Carbondale. What's going on here? And I doubt the new update's going to be anything groundbreaking anyway. Look at this, though. Over the past 3 scans, the cell near Carbondale has just exploded. 15 minutes ago, this was nothing, and now it's a fully fledged supercell. This is one of our bigger storms right now. It's already developing that hook feature. It's not what we like to see, so we'll see what happens there. Hopefully that's just a coincidence. That's just the storm of the shape. Or the shape of the storm, rather. And it could be, but we'll see. What instrument do I play? Trombone. So again, we'll wait for that next scan there. We'll see what happens with that. Expecting a tornado. Yeah, you're on the east side. Yeah, you may have one of the greater tornado threats out of the track here of Helene. I'm also expecting at least 5 inches of rain. That's kind of wild. It's going to lead to some serious flooding, I'll say that much. That's enough to cause flooding anywhere, no matter what the conditions are like in terms of how much rainfall you've gotten recently. Whether it's none or a little, once you get to 5 inches or more, at that point, it's always pretty much going to flood. Even if your town is kind of good with, flooding, if it doesn't happen too often. Again, 5 or more inches of rain, it's quite extreme, so. Just had a late dinner. Gotta look at the models for your area a bit. So the GFS, let's see here. GFS, switch over to reflectivity. So, come on, any day now. It always takes the GFS forever to load because it says 384 hours out. Come on, okay. So, it's showing, the GFS actually is not pushing this northwestward. So if this were to happen, what the GFS is saying is that you're going to get hit head on. Which would lower the tornado threat for you drastically, but it would increase the rainfall threat if you got hit by, the eye wall, because at this point it genuinely could still be a tropical storm, weak tropical storm, but still a tropical storm. So that's what the GFS is saying. We'll look at the Euro, but quickly, I want to see if we got a new radar scan yet. We did not. So let's look at the European. I'll pull it up here. So the Euro has this thing. The new run of the Euro only goes at 90 hours. That's unfortunate. Look at the 12Z. So it has this thing going just west of you. And again, that would bring you a greater tornado and rainfall threat if that were to happen. So, okay. New scan here. Yeah, we got a couple of these little bean-shaped supercells developing. Little kidney beans. We'll see what happens there. Well, let's see this next velocity scan here. If it's not too crazy, we're going to cut things off at this point in the stream. And then just come back later if necessary. But it's not looking like it's going to be if these cells don't really do much, because really this environment's not anything wild. As we said, it's kind of just enough to fire off these severe storms and potential isolated tornadoes, so. But this area did have a tornado risk highlighted by the SBC, so we'll see. And the STP's relatively moderately high in this area as well, so. If you're talking about hurricane season, no. If you're talking about tornado season, definitely. Hurricane season has not been above average. John's a major? Not right now, it's not. It's a Cat 2. Why are we not getting a velocity update? This is the St. Louis radar. Can't really see much for these cells. Again, we see rotation on our line here. Couple spots of broad rotation. It got updated. Is there a new National Hurricane Center update? Oh, I suppose it is a major, and it's actually making landfall right now. I didn't realize that. It sped up a ton. What in the world? It wasn't expected to make landfall until, like, tomorrow. So Major Hurricane John is making landfall right now. 30 plus inches of rain. Well, the forecast has been Cat 3 for a while, but it just now went Cat 3. Wow. Somebody let Max know about this, Max Velocity. This is going to be one of those times where the velocity scan skips a reflectivity scan, and it waits till the next one to show anything. So that's cool. No, last year we had some doozies in the East Pacific. It's because we were in an El Nino. El Nino, oh, and there we go. It's making landfall right now. El Ninos are more favorable for hurricane season in the Pacific and less favorable for hurricane season in the Atlantic. So again, Major Hurricane John now making landfall if you're now tuning in. That's kind of wild. And it just sped up so much, and here it is. It was not expected to make landfall until tomorrow, and this info just now came out. Can we not look at just Hurricane John? Guess not. That's unfortunate. Well, it's pretty wild. Yeah, I said 30 inches of rain just so casually. That's been the forecast for a little bit, though, so it's not any breaking news or anything. That's obviously super intense, though. This is the biggest Pacific landfall we've had all year. Luckily, though, nobody lives out here. I guess that's not true. Very few people live out here, I'll say that much. Why is this next scan not coming in? Okay, there we go. If you complain about it enough, it'll come in, huh? The velocities have not updated in 11 minutes. That's a little unfortunate. Okay. Maybe some sort of rotation on the north side of Carbondale, but it's not that crazy. It's not extreme or anything. I will say this rotation near Old Appleton is the most impressive we have right now. Either that or this rotation near Ava, Illinois. But I think we're ending off the live stream here. If you guys did enjoy, please be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, we'll be live tomorrow for the tornado threat in Kentucky, or excuse me, in Ohio and Indiana. The severe weather threat mostly being in Kentucky, though, just in general. Wednesday, we'll have a stream. They don't have a risk out right now. The SBC doesn't, but if you look, Helene will be just west of the Keys at this point. So we'll likely have some sort of tornado risk in place for the Keys on Wednesday. So we'll be live for that. We'll be live Thursday, obviously, because it'll be moving up the East Coast. Or that'll be happening on Friday too, I guess. But then this weekend we'll have a stream for landfall in the Big Bend. So anyway, I want to thank you all for tuning in to this live stream once again. I'll see you on the next one. I don't know why.